To call the meeting to order, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thanks for coming, everybody. We've had a lot of rain the past 2 weeks and more coming this week. So I had about 5-6 calls of water in their yards, and yeah, you got water in your yard. So anyhow, opening day Friday too, that's a good thing.
Let's go Tigers.
Coming up, go Tigers. We won't talk about the Red Wings, will we?
Well, first year in 25 years.
That's right. So roll call, please.
Sandy Kufelt.
Absent, excused.
Crystal Regan.
Here.
Christy Hilton.
Here.
Artie Bryson.
Here.
Cindy Valentine here. Joanne Shirkey.
Here.
Mark Bouchard.
Here.
Okay. Entertain a motion for bills payable.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills in the sum of $9,304.91.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Any questions, conversations? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please. Oh, actually, we don't need a.
No.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. How it works, if anything over $10,000 or a contract or a resolution, we gotta do roll call. But this is under 10 grand, so we didn't need the roll call. Very rarely in that. All right, public comments. Do we have any public comments by anybody?
I'll be doing them then.
Yeah,
Okay.
no public comments. Moving right along. We have the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda, the board meeting minutes of March 20th, 2017 in synopsis, check reports, assessing 2017 values, taxable values before and after the board review. There were no notices or communications. Request from assessing for continuing education for Sherry Lawton and Barb Schutt for $40. I believe it's $20 each. And Sherry Lawton for an MAAO class, $250 plus lodging.
Support.
Okay, motion and support. Is everyone good with this? Anyone want to pull anything out, or?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, consent agenda is passed. All right, next, supervisor's report. Bear with me, it'll be a tad longer than last time. First thing I want to mention, FEMA is back rearing his big ugly head again. They're reviewing the Lake St. Clair flood plan maps, and I'm not really sure what they're up to. I have a meeting scheduled for April 13th at 8:30 in the morning, so I'm gonna have to leave the conference a little early next week, and I think it's very important that I'm at this meeting. What I gather is they're talking about before, in their models, they never put wind-blown water in their models, and they're stating that, you know, this is what I'm gathering. I don't know for sure, but I've heard rumors of this, that, you know, the wind can blow and it'll increase the levels of the lake and could create flooding. I don't know, but didn't we have about almost like a hurricane about a month ago? Mm-hmm. And the water, I mean, we had waves, but the level of the water really didn't go up or down, affect that much. So I'll have to wait till Thursday, 8:30, Ira Township Hall. And I believe, I'm sure it's open to the public. They specifically invited me to attend, and I'm glad they did. So my own personal opinion, is nothing but a money grab. I'm not sure what the up-to-date numbers are. I requested them, but I didn't get them yet. I know about 4 years ago that in St. Clair County, they collected about $32 million in premiums for FEMA, for flood insurance, and less than $1 million that came back to our community, to the county. And that's right directly off of people's mortgages. And I mean, think of all the foreclosures we could have stopped with $32 million. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, I pay it. I hate writing that check more than any other check I write every year. So we will be aggressively watching it and opposing any change. And I will keep everyone abreast. We did our road tour with the county, Mark and Joanne and I, this last week. We looked at a lot of projects. Quite frankly, we're going to be really concentrating on ditching. We do have the repaving of the Colony Isles, Sassy subdivision, I call it. And that was scheduled for this summer, plus they're replacing the bridge there. But other than that, mostly it's going to be culverts and ditching. I think that's where our greatest need is right now. We will be looking at a couple road projects that will happen next year. And as I said a few times, what we like to do is put it out for bid in the winter time, because we get better pricing for the next spring, summer season. So I'm going to have, it's all part of the budget process. We're getting costs on a lot of these projects, and hopefully we'll have some work orders here in the next month to approve. Cub Scout Wolfpack 222 did a tour through our police department about 2 weeks ago. Had 9 scouts and their parents, and they had an awesome time. They got them all fingerprinted, and James Pelletier took them through there and threw them in jail and showed them the cars and everything. They had a great time. It was a good learning experience for them. The Cathodic system in our 200,000 gallon tank is in place and online. That went online last Thursday, and they had a training session with all our water department employees, and that's up and going now. And they're all trained and ready to, it's doing its job. So, and also, as you are aware, that our last board meeting, the board authorized me to sign the purchase agreement for 5244 Point Trumbull for $118,000, which we did. And we had the house inspection done, and actually today I had them go through and check for any hazardous materials, asbestos, and if they do find it, they're supposed to, the proper way to abate it, and I'm gonna have that report tomorrow, but there wasn't any big great shakes about, they were mostly concerned if some of the siding might have some asbestos in it. And that's a easy fix if there is, so.
Don't touch it.
What's that?
Don't touch it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I just want to let the board know that. March 22nd, we received a consent agenda, or a consent agreement on that Blight case we had on Point Trumbull. And basically he had to pay the $100 ticket, plus he's assessed another $1,000 to cover our expenses. And so basically it cost him $1,100. And yes, I believe it was 60 days to pay for it. If he doesn't pay for it in that time, we'll be able to put it on his taxes and assess it. And he has 30 days to be in compliance with the ordinance and have the blight removed. If he doesn't, if he fails to, we're going to go back to court and get a show cause. We can do that within 7 days after. get a show cause and ask permission that we remove the blight and whatever it costs to charge it also on his taxes. We did have another hearing this past Thursday on another piece of property on a corner of Field and Stone, and they didn't show up, they defaulted, so we're gonna be doing the same process on that property. Okay, working on turtle crossing signs for the Dyke Road and Harson's Island. We're gonna put some be careful, turtles walking across the road signs. Hopefully that will save a few of those guys. I know we've been thinning out the muskrat population on the Dyke Road for sure. I've been working with the schools and converting some of the tennis courts to pickleball courts. This will be a cooperative with our Clay Parks and Recs and Elginak School. Basically, they have 8 tennis courts, and they're not very well used. They don't have a tennis program, which we're hoping to also with our Parks and Rec get some sort of a tennis program up and going. But I wanted to, or we have permission to utilize 3 of those tennis courts for pickleball, and we could probably get 6 to 8 pickleball courts on that. And so we're working on that as we speak. Justin Prevost, he's a Boy Scout, our local Boy Scout, and he's going for his Eagles badge. He delivered, had this Eagle project was to put some temporary kennels in the police station, and last week he delivered them and put them together, installed them, and they look great. They made a little wooden pantry with all kinds of supplies for pets and leashes and dishes for the water and
Where are they, inside the police?
it's in the Sallyport. And did a great job, and thanks to Justin and Troop 252. And actually, we're already talking with another Eagle Scout, or person that's going for his Eagle Scout badge, and he wants to do a project in the park. And so we're talking to him for next year. So we like that kind of stuff. Did file all the paperwork for the Ainsworth Road change, name change to Muskrat Run. That's all up in the county. I'm not sure how long that process takes. It goes to the County Road Commission first, then the county commissioners, and I'll know more for that. I asked them, they weren't really sure. I know the County Road Commission will have to schedule a public hearing. So I'll keep you abreast of that going forward. And cleanup weekend on the mainland is Saturday, June 3rd. And also, it is from 8 till 4. From 8 till 1, we'll also have an outfit here, a truck here, that will accept e-waste. Anything electronic, they'll safely get rid of it for you. Computers, printers, anything like that. But then it will be 8 to 4, and that's behind the water department on Ainsworth. On Harson's Island, we're going to be, it seems like it's a lot busier over there. And it'll be a 2-day event on Harson's Island. It'll be June 3rd and June 4th. We usually take about 8 or 10 those big 40-yard dumpsters off. The island always floats a little higher the Monday after when we do the cleanup. But I mean, whatever it is, bring it to us. Tires, we've gotten old fiberglass boats. We don't care. We'd rather have it disposed of than I mean, if you got it and you can get it to us, we'll take it. So.
A couple of boats last year.
Yeah, I had a couple of boats over there last year. Smushed them. Wave runners, it's amazing. And a lot of people will bring furniture or something over that they just want to get rid of. They'll set it off to the side, and other people, hey, that's not bad. And it's kind of a swap shop too, so, hey. See, I got a letter I want to read. Should I read this?
Yeah.
It was addressed to me. I'm going to read this to you. This is hard. I'll tell you what, my job's hard every once in a while, and you'll see. Dear Mr. Bryson, my name is Avery Baker, and I am 9 years old, and I live at, I won't say the address, Harson's Island. Recently, my brother and I took a trip to TSC, Tractor Supply Center, I assume. We saw and held some baby chicks. I have always wanted to raise chickens. I would have liked to have 8 chickens. I had gotten all excited, and I had bought a book called A Kid's Guide to Keeping Chickens by Melissa Cogley. My mother and I just found the perfect coop and everything. Then we paid a visit to the township office. When my mom was done talking to them, she told me that you need 2 acres to have 1 to 25 chickens. And we only have 1.5 acres of property. And since you are the township supervisor, I thought if you have more than 1 acre but less than 2 acres, you should be able to have 1 to 15 chickens, because I think it's just not fair. I get that, and I get that if you want free roam chickens, you need 2 acres, but I just don't understand. So can you please talk it over with the other supervisors and see if you can get the law changed? Thanks so much. Please write me back. I'm going to write her back tomorrow. I was going to say, if they, I almost told them to call you. But I actually talked to our building inspector, and unfortunately they would have to go to the ZBA and it'd probably get turned down. But I'm hoping to turn this into a little learning experience with Avery and her brother. And maybe we'll approach the planning commission and see if we can get something changed on that. I don't know. We'll see. It would be up to the planning commission, but I'm going to write you a letter tomorrow, Avery, and hope to talk to you soon about it. And if not, maybe you can go to Horvath's and take care of their chickens once in a while.
We got lots of them.
So, all right. Upcoming events. Let's see. We did have an Easter egg hunt this past Saturday, the Elginak Clay in the park next door. Library. What did I say?
Clay.
Oh, okay. Elginak Clay Library. And I know they had about 150 kids there. I was over there taking a few pictures. It was a great day for it. The year before, it was really cold and nasty. We had it inside here. But it worked out well. We have a kids' Easter egg hunt at the Pearl Beach Lions, April 15th, 1 to 3. Free baskets for all kids. Bunny arrives by fire truck. And you can get your picture taken with the Easter Bunny, face painting, and kids game. April 15th, there's a fundraiser at the Colony Bowl for Boats for Vets. And all the details are at boatsforvets.com, but I know it's $25 per person. And that is a good event that we also partake in. April 21st, another fundraiser at the Elginak Lions for the Elginak Dog Park that they're trying to raise money to build. I believe it's a spaghetti dinner or coney dog, I can't remember. But it's $10 per person. April 29th, St. John's Marsh cleanup at 9 a.m. Meet at the DNR site at the southeast corner. They kind of assemble there at 9 a.m. and everyone gets sections, and you go out and for a couple hours and clean the marsh, and it's a great event. And we always cook hot dogs, and hopefully, we get done in about 2 hours. And we have a Phragmites workshop May 13th here from 10 to 11 at the Township Hall. I wanted to mention it's Kite Day at the Point Trumbull Early Childhood Center, Saturday, April 29th, also at 10:30 to 12:30. So you can drop your kids off there, go clean the marsh and come back. They have flying kites, face painting, arts craft, and more. And then I got a tough gig. Oh, you want me to read that?
Oh, yeah, that's why we didn't put it in the
Okay.
consent agenda. 'Cause they-
I'll come back to that. Got a tough gig this Wednesday. I'm going to be speaking in front of the Harson's Island Garden Club at the Schoolhouse Grill. George, you want to come to me with that? That'd be great. We'll buy you lunch. And so that's always exciting too. I'm going to read one more letter. Dear Mr. Supervisor, this is from Under Sheriff Tom Buckley. Recently, our office asked Chief Coach to assist us in an interview as an interview panelist during a promotional process for our detective bureau. I wanted to know how appreciative I was that Chief was able to assist us. We at St. Clair County understand how extremely busy he is and what it means to be gone for the day. We placed a great deal of importance on our promotional interview, and having someone of Mike's abilities on the board is a tremendous advantage for us. Mike is always willing to help us when he can, and having someone with his expertise is always a benefit. I know Mike for I have known Mike for a long time, and I know that he will make a sound decision when he judges the candidates. I don't have any worries that he would do anything to taint the promotional interview process. In short, it makes my job easier having Mike sit on the board. I thought you should be aware that Chief Coach is a great help to us in this process. Thank you for allowing him to take advantage of, for us to take advantages of his abilities. What they do, and we do the same process when we're looking for a detective, we get a panel of 3 independent law enforcement agencies other than our own to interview the candidates, and they get together and tell us who they would think to,
Yeah, an advisory committee. Huh?
right. And so that works out well. So, all right, I think that's the end of my supervisor's report. Next, we have fire department reports. John Horvath and Bill or George Rose. You want to come up, John? And
Whoops. Yeah, this weather is killing my legs.
oh, I hear you.
I got this thing in my ears, so you gotta tell me if I talk too loud or not.
No, you're good.
Am I good?
That doesn't mean.
Okay. I'm sorry that I had to cancel the last meeting, but I can't take the chance and have that ice come down and keep me over here. Not that it isn't nice over here, but Joanne, you know how that is.
We'd be worried about your chickens. We'd
Yeah.
have to have Avery go feed them.
You know, Artie, just not to get off the track, but you were talking about the turtles and stuff. We have a lot of water on our farm, and we'll talk about that. But today, 2 guineas got killed in the road because there's no place for them to go. Now, they're only 22 pounds, so I'm sure you can't see them. But they splattered them, you know, that's just today.
Yeah.
But again, I'm sorry I missed the meeting. My next thing is to thank you for appointing me to this position. I thought I was out of this, but I guess I'm not. I've talked with George a couple times. I think personally he's doing a fantastic job. I just want to tell the board if you need to talk about something, you just call me. I can carry it to George, maybe better than you can. And then I think the public should know that this position is not something new. You called it different things, but I remember Joanne had the same position. I think Karen Stratford had it. They just changed the name, and it's not a board member anymore. I was at one time, but I'm not anymore, so I have the knowledge, I have the background. So with all that said, I don't think at this time that as a commissioner that I can do anything that George isn't doing. Excuse me. He's just been here a short time. I've only been here a short time at this position. Now, it took longer than 2 or 3 months to screw that fire department up. So I hope you don't think that George Rose and or John Horvath can straighten it out very quickly. We need to recognize the problems and address them accordingly. Now, this is where I'm going to ask you guys to help me with the problems. I can carry them to the George probably easier than you can, but if not, I mean, you got the power, not me. You know, so you do whatever you want. But with all that said, I know we had that storm here, and it did raise holy havoc. I'm not so sure that if we'd have had that ALS in order, that we would have been able to do as good a job. Now, I don't know, so you have to talk to the chief. But that's just my opinion. So with that said, I'll just kind of like back off on, let George do whatever he's got to do.
All right.
But I think you made a very wise choice in him.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, Jen.
It's hard to follow up.
Good evening. Just to give you a little short on some of the things we did for the month of March at the fire station. I attended one meeting, and that was the St. Clair County Chiefs Association, and I turned in our MABUS agreement to the committee up there. I also attended a flag raising ceremony at the Pearl Beach Lions Club on that Saturday. It was very nice. I've been working on the county accountability tags, and I have all of those done except 2. Those were turned in to Mark White, so we should be receiving them shortly. Echo 1 is now turned over to Echo 2, and it's been returned back to the island where it was once housed. So that unit will be responding out of there that has transportation or transporting capabilities. So if Tri is tied up, they'll be able to transport and meet them.
That's the vehicle that was originally for the island when
Yes.
it was first purchased, right?
Yes, yes.
Terrific.
Yeah. Fire department, we conducted a controlled burn on Stewart Road over at the old pheasant farm. We burned about 100 acres. We still have about 50 or so acres left to burn. We've also been asked by the old club to burn a section down there by their entrance. Bobby Bryson, he went down there and he cut a section underneath the power lines, so now we can go down and burn that safely without causing any harm to any of the power lines or utility lines down there. So hopefully next month we'll be able to do that. The washer and dryer was delivered. We installed that. We had to contract a plumber to have some new water lines and valves installed. That cost around $400 to have, or $400 to have that done, along with a new utility sink. As you know, Lieutenant Cody Gordon was promoted to captain. Now I have a vacant lieutenant's slot, so we'll be looking possibly to fill that slot. I've received some notice from the SAFER employees requesting to go back to a 24-hour shift from 48. So I'm working with the union on that and working with those members to get a schedule together for those. I'm proud to inform the board, citizens and the board, that 4 of our firefighters have passed the basic EMT class through Tri-Hospital EMS. And I'd like to congratulate Logan DuPage, William Hubert, Megan Rickard, and Jonathan Folk. They both, or all 4 of them, have passed their EMT class, basic EMT class. So outstanding job. That was a lot of hard work.
Wow.
I believe the class started in September and it just finished here in March.
All right, good job, folks.
The other thing is I'd like to report 2 out of those 4, Macon Record and Logan DePage, has already passed their national registry. They took their test and passed that, so they're just waiting to get their certification for that, so they passed.
Congratulations to them.
Good job.
The other thing here, the fire department personnel responded to 15 calls on the island and on the mainland due to high winds on March 8th, 2017. The men and women of our department responded to very variety of calls, ranging from down wires, broken utility poles, trees in the roadway, and one structure fire on Harson's Island. It was a team effort with the police department, dispatch, mutual aid, and fire departments, and the Harson's Island Ferry. I would like to thank the Harson's Island Ferry and the personnel for transporting the fire department personnel and the equipment safely across to the island during the high winds. And honestly, I have to say that was a ride of my life.
I have to agree with you, George. You were probably sitting up a little higher than I was.
Yes, I was. The other thing we did for the month, the assistant Chief John Szynski and I attended a class at Marysville Fire Department where we were given instructions how to program the 800 megahertz pagers that we received. The new pagers were programmed with the Clay Township fire alert tones and issued to fire department personnel. The department went online with the new pagers on March 27th, so we were ahead of everybody else by 1 week.
Great, and you got a late start.
April's projections, complete the control burns on Harson's Island, and decide on the next lieutenant, possibly another sergeant promotion, and researching replacement for firefighter structural gear. Respectfully.
Keep you busy.
Yeah,
Good job.
thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
I have one question apart from your report on the Fragmity burn. Are you gonna do anything over on the dike where the new proposed DNR project is going on?
I've not been asked.
Haven't heard anything
I
of
believe
that?
that's all something that the DNR would have to, they have their own fire department.
Okay. We would be notified though, I would
Yeah,
assume.
we would.
Okay,
Thanks, George.
thank you.
Okay, new business. We have a discussion on Krispin Drain and Silent Acres Farm. I had a conference call with the EPA. I mean, it's an EPA project, and some of their contractors that were doing the job. As far as going forward, what they have scheduled right now is in May, they're going to do additional planting and where the dredge material are, along the canal. And then once that's done, they want to shift into the monitoring and maintenance phase of the project, which lasts an additional 2 years. Monitoring, it's 2 ways. You know, they want to make sure, you know, the drain is doing what they intended to do, but then they also want to do a study on exactly how it's affecting the habitat. They want to take samples of the wildlife in it and then the plant life around it, and just for their own knowledge of that. I did have specific discussions because at John Horvath's property, Silent Acres Farm, he's got a drainage issue from where the dirt is. They put all this dirt there, and the dirt was saturated to begin with. And so there's lots of groundwater that ran off of that into his woods and around areas. And they sent, or Horvath sent him pictures to the EPA, and it was actually a little bit before this last conference call. I had a private call, then I came up in a conference call. They are going to do something to fix your situation. I don't know exactly what that is yet. I actually talked to the head of the project, Rose Ellison, today again, and she's proposing a conference call with you know, myself representing Clay, and then you, John, and them, and
And I also said I wouldn't do that.
to see,
Here, if she can't come down here and talk to us, then I don't want to talk to her at all.
okay, well,
Artie, I've learned.
you gotta come up, you wanna,
You bet.
okay.
That's gonna be your mistake. I learned one thing with Rose Ellison. If her mouth is moving, she's lying,
Yeah,
okay? Now look at, when this project started way back in 15, it was gonna be under Clay Township control. And I thought that was a good thing. That's why I went along with it. All right? Somehow it slipped out. And those people, she thinks she owns my farm.
right,
I mean, they won't even talk to me. Here, Donna sent her a letter and all those pictures, and she denied getting them. So we sent them registered mail.
yeah, they got them,
But it's not dated. That's just part of it.
right,
And had they listened to me on the onset, we wouldn't have had any of that problem. None of it. I had pipe there. It's still there. 600 feet of it. They didn't put it, all I had to do was lay it down, cover it up. And that
for
would
a
have
drain.
cured the problem.
Well, let's do this. I'll request, we do a face-to-face,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna suggest that whatever we agree on, we put it in writing and make it happen.
This is part of the record, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Artie, where it comes off the hill in the back, you know, we put the ditch in, right? Now, that ditch belongs to me. I know you don't like that, but that's what it is. I showed her, and I'll show anybody here. If you don't believe me, go over to your water department. Bolt, McLeod, and Johnson. They did the survey. They own 15 feet from the center. And if you come from the corner of my property, I come out 22.8 feet.
okay, get to the point.
Get to the point.
Yeah.
I'm a PO'd farmer,
Okay,
all right? Just get it fixed reasonably.
that's what I said, we're gonna have to
I'm
have
not
a
looking for
meeting.
anything,
Right,
but if you don't, you are gonna wish the hell you never knew me.
okay,
Now, I'm not the only one. Go over to the schoolhouse. There, he's right here. They knocked his berm down, and now they say it's a wetland. They don't put it back. And my wife was cutting that grass. I mean, don't tell me it's a wetland. Here, she's telling me my farm's a wetland. You should tell my horses that. You know, I've been farming it for 25 years.
Right.
Or longer. You know,
okay. Well, I'll call her tomorrow, and we'll see if we can set up a face-to-face meeting then, okay?
but where that new ditch is, that water's running off and it's washing.
Yeah, there's two small spots where we saw.
No, now they're big.
Well, that's a wheelbarrow full.
Yeah. So
So-
just get it fixed.
Okay, thanks. So I'll make a call, like I say, to Rose Ellison, see if I can get her out here for a
Here, you
face-to-face.
just call me, Artie, I'll come over here.
Okay. No, we want to go over there.
You know, but here,
Yeah,
they got that berm 20 feet away from the fence.
okay,
And then here, well, I forgot to mention this because I get so excited. I went before your tax tribunal and asked for just a reduction on those two properties, and they denied both of them. Now, that is a bunch of you-know-what.
yeah, I don't have anything to do with that,
Yeah,
so,
well, you're gonna wish you had.
okay. All right, moving along, we have resolution 2017-10 DNR Trust Fund. It was, back in 2015, the DNR is doing the St. John's Marsh project. I believe it's a $1.6 million project. They're going to, it's a habitat restoration among a few other things. And part of that, of the the job of the scope is a new access site along the Dyke Road, where they want to put in about 10, 12 parking spaces, a couple boat ramps. Anyhow, what we did back in 2015, Clay Township committed $10,000 towards the project. We wanted to see it happen. The year before, they tried to get grants for funding. They were denied, and they thought it would be beneficial. They would score higher if they did this project in collaboration with us, and which they got us, Ducks Unlimited on board, Waterfowls USA, Pheasants for Tomorrow. I know there's a couple more that I'm forgetting. Anyhow, they were able to get the most of the funding from grants that they've applied for. About 2 weeks ago, they asked me if we could take our 10 grand that we've committed and write a grant with the Michigan DNR Trust Fund. And basically that would turn that 10,000 into 40,000. And it would go directly into building the boat ramps. So I've been busy, actually the past week. You see, I mean, I had a stack of paperwork about 2 inches thick. I think the narrative that we put together is in here and a few other things. They asked me to write the grant, which I did and submitted it today. Part of the requirements is we have a resolution that we're going to use this $10,000 as a match to get the trust fund. So that's what I'm asking the board to pass that resolution for the DNR Trust Fund grant proposal. Everyone clear on that? Kind of, sort of?
We're not in jeopardy of losing any of the 10,000 that we initially said.
What's that?
Are we in jeopardy of losing any of the 10,000 that we put up already?
No, we didn't give it. We committed it to the project if it came into being. And that was done back in 2015. The thinking was, yeah, we'll give them 10 grand if it will, give us a $1.6 million investment into our area. That's a good trade. That was, I wish you could do that every day, right?
Yeah.
That was the logic behind it. And it obviously worked because, the project did get funded. And part of the requirements is that for the trust fund, that we pass a resolution that, if they give the project their 40 grand, we'll pitch in our 10.
So this is for boat ramp access into our marsh?
Right.
And the location is somewhere between Anchor Bay Drive and the current DNR access?
It's pretty close to where the monument is.
If I'm understanding it, where the monument is there, because they can't get out by Bill Rose's going into the launch because of that monument area there, correct?
Well, but they're gonna build a dike system, so there'll be a inside and an outside. That's why they need two ramps.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a dike, and one of the big deals on this project is, and Terry McFadden, he's in charge of it for the DNR, but they're gonna be able to regulate the water levels like they do on the Harson's Island DNR.
I get it.
And if you ever hunted back there, you don't see Phragmites. And the reason being is they regulate the water levels, and Phragmites can't grow over 6. I mean, if they're there already, they'll grow, but they won't start. So they want to do an initial kill of the Phragmites and cut them, and they're going to do this dike system with some pumps, and they'll be able to regulate the water levels. And so they shouldn't have to treat any more for the frags back there. It's been well documented and very successful on Harson's Island and in the reserve over there. And basically, the idea is 2 years from now, that's what St. John's is going to look like a pristine marsh with all kinds of birds and reptiles and fish and everything. And that's the whole the gist of the project itself. I think it's a total of 627 acres that that they will encompass, and I think it's a great project myself. I mean, you'll be able to drive by there, and you're going to see all kinds of cranes and egrets and.
So we're going to need more road signs?
Yeah, we're going to need more low-flying crane signs. So I think it's, so essentially there's going to be a boat ramp inside the marsh to go around kayaking, and there's going to be all kinds of kayaking trails, and then one outside so you can go along the road and go under the tube and hit Anchor Bay.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion for Resolution 2017-10, approving submission of applications for the Federal Coastal Land Conservation Program and Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund.
I'll support that.
Okay, with motion and support, any more discussion?
So one more question on the $10,000.
Yep.
That's going to be scratched and then reapplied to here. So we're still out on the cup for the original 10,000.
Yeah, we are. Just 10,000, that's it. They're just saying, let's take that 10,000 and leverage it against a grant.
Right, but the original 10,000.
That's what we're going to use as our match.
Okay, well, that part of it is going to be scratched and then just moved over.
Right.
Okay. So we're not on the
Hook for another 10.
No,
cup for, okay.
no,
Gotcha.
10 all day.
You sure nobody's going to come back and say, well, I
Yes.
already did this? and-
Yes.
Okay, that's the
No.
point I was trying to make.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, 10 all day. You know, I mean, the project fits with our motto and our goals and our vision, and Cindy wants me to shut up right now.
She's looking at me too, so.
Yeah. Any more discussion? You sure?
Got anything else?
No, hearing
Chris, you got
none.
anything else?
Was there any discussion of charging like boat launch fees or?
Yeah, it's a public access, the DNR, they won't do that. They may provide, you have to have the little P, you know,
on the-
for the passport,
Okay,
for the license, but other than that, no.
I think everybody's going to get that anyway.
no more questions, Cindy.
Whether they want it or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of them, I'll shut up. That's one of the parts of the grants, they want to know if it's charged or not, because you score a lot lower if it's not free on these trust funds.
So who has to staff someone there?
We're not.
The DNR?
Yeah, I doubt it.
Is it honor system?
Yeah.
Probably operate like the one currently does, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the marsh?
Yeah, just like the one southeast corner here across the
Yeah,
old
it's
Cheers.
a hot walleye spot right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I love it.
All right.
Man,
Any more discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Crystal Regan.
yes.
Christy Hilton.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes.
Okay, motion passes. All right, next we have to open up a couple bank accounts, and we just need board consent, right? To
Yes.
do this prior to our policy. First one is for our perpetual care funds for the cemetery. How long have we had the cemetery for?
A long time.
Long time, like 30s,
Yes.
probably. And since the 1930s, we've been selling lots, plots, whatever they are. And part of that is we charge them for the lot or the plot, and then we charge them money for perpetual care, which is supposed to be put aside and for maintaining, once the cemetery is full, this money is supposed to, the interest of it is supposed to maintain the maintenance and upkeep of the cemetery. Makes sense. Well, we just found out that we haven't, I say we, Clay Township, since the 1930s, have not made a separate account for the perpetual fund, which we are supposed to. Go ahead.
Well, there is a separate account for it
Yeah.
now, as of
Now.
our last audit. It was done prior to the last audit. Our auditors would just prefer that we actually put it in a separate bank account, because this money's not supposed to be touched until there is no more township, and then somebody can take what's in there and take care of the cemetery.
Right. And that will allow us to invest it for more interest, longer term.
The
Because
interest
we're-
that the balance accrues can be used towards maintaining the cemetery now, but the balance, the principal balance within the account has to always stay in there and cannot be used for anything until the township is no more.
And is that the 64,000?
Yes, plus whatever we add to it annually for the cemetery lots that we sell. You know, each one has a perpetual care fee built into it, so.
Are they all different, or it's the same perpetual care fee?
Well, it depends if you're a resident or non-resident.
Oh.
So right now, the interest rate is only 1% on a CD. I talked to Amber at the bank. She believes that the CD interest rates will be going up in the next few months. So her recommendation was to put the balance into a one-year CD and see what happens with the interest rates. They go-
Nothing long-term, right?
Yeah, if they go up and, have the threat of going back down, we can put it in for a 5-year or whatever we want to do. But her recommendation is right now, not much is paying right now, so.
So it's $600 to $800 worth of accrued interest. Where did the rest of the funds come to maintain the cemetery?
Fees that we charge.
Fees?
We'll be going over that budget time soon.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, right now, that it's not earning any interest because it's just lumped into our general fund savings, just accounted out in our chart of accounts.
So this would definitely be a step in the right direction.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Anyone want to make a motion?
So, and actually, before we get that far, there's two accounts here. One is a checking
Then
and
we
one is
can
a
discuss.
CD. Well, they need to know what they're
I know,
supposed to
I'm
have.
teasing.
Because as we add to it, every time we sell a lot, we can't add to a certificate of deposit. So what we will do is annually, when it's time to revolve that certificate of deposit, we'll take what's in the checking and roll it into the CD.
Follow that?
Yes. I have questions, but I follow it.
Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that we open up two separate accounts at North Star Bank. One, we would open for the perpetual care account of the cemetery, and the second, we would open for a new tax account.
Support?
That's,
Is that what we're doing right now?
Well, they're both on there.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You want to explain what the tax account is for?
Well, the tax account is for the taxes.
Yeah.
Bottom line. Right now, there's been some questions as to whether our current tax account is over or under, or how things were done in the past. We have a new treasurer, so it was the recommendation of our auditors and myself and the deputy treasurer that we just open up a new account. See where the other one falls out at. I believe theoretically, the account is supposed to be closed twice a year. Our taxes have just never been all dispersed out in time to close it before we were already getting payments in for the next cycle, so. It's never actually been fully balanced and closed.
So what we're doing is just really straightening up the whole
Yes.
mess.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a new treasurer, didn't think it'd be a bad idea to start out with a new tax account.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so we have a motion to open up two accounts, perpetual care account and new tax account.
Motion and support.
Motion and support. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, passes. All right, next we have board member comments. Mark, you got anything?
Just going to have a planning commission on the 12th of April. I was just curious on the, how they're going to write an elevation certificate for the flood zone.
Yeah, I don't know on that one yet.
It would be interesting to find out. So you going to that meeting, I'm sure you'll have some information coming back.
Oh, yeah.
And
But it depends which way the wind blows, too.
for sure.
You're dying for that one, aren't you?
And I'll stay fixed on the chicken issue,
Okay.
the planning commission. Okay.
Joanne?
I'm looking forward to attending the MTA convention in Lansing. Hopefully, we'll learn some new things and be able to share it when we come back. And in case you can't tell, I'm supporting the big NCAA championship weekend,
That's right.
and I want to get home and watch that ball game.
Yeah, you got anything, Cindy?
Today was the, today was the last day to register to vote in the township for the election on May 2nd. So unfortunately, if you are not registered in the township as of today, you will not be able to be registered in time for the election on May 2nd.
When is it? May
Election, May 2nd.
May 2nd,
That would be for the school election.
school. That's the only thing on there.
Yes.
You set for workers?
We are all set for workers. Notices will be going out this week. We actually had an overwhelmingly abundance that we weren't planning on, so that was a good problem to
Good
have.
thing, good thing.
All right. Chris?
3 quick ones. Thank you to Chief Coach for great representation. Thank you to Chief Rose, who has had a couple of very busy weeks. And lastly, can I just get an update on our cardiac monitors? Are they gone?
Yes. They are gone, aren't they? And actually, they cut a check Friday for us.
Fantastic.
I don't think it came in the mail yet, but,
Check in the mail, is it?
yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Christie?
I am also excited to go to the MTA next week. It'll be a good time for me to learn.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Yes. Are you going Monday too?
Yes.
Awesome. For a new candidate, awesome.
We got her hooked into the whole
Good,
conference.
good. That it?
That's it.
All right, thank you. I just want to mention to everybody, most of us will be gone next week to the Michigan Township Association Conference. It's a great learning experience for us. And I'll be available hit and miss through email. And so if anyone needs to get a hold of me, email's the best way, supervisor@claytownship.org. And we're gonna spend some time there, and I'll tell you what, guys, whenever I go to these things, you get, I mean, it's really eye-opening when you see a lot of the same problems townships have, and then different problems that they have. You get talking to people and everything.
Wonderful.
And every once in a while, I think, boy, we were so screwed up, but you know what? we are actually pretty good.
All right.
You'll see. I'm interested on your take afterwards. So, yeah, I'm glad everything's going, and congrats to all the EMTs that passed their EMTs, and I'm good. So our next meeting is April 17th.
Slap that gavel and get out of here.
Okay.
Motion
Is that
to
a motion?
adjourn.
All right. Thank you for coming, everybody. Go and watch some basketball. They do, yeah, I can